You're from East West Bank, yes?
Yes po!
Bakit bagsak yung stock nyo ngayon? Anong...
Uy! Lahat naman sira!
Oo nga, pero
Hindi naman
anong mapapayo mo sa mga East West Bank holders?
Great opportunity to invest more. Mababa ang stocks ngayon.
Tingin mo, ikaw yung empleyado mo na papataas ng stock nila?
Pwede? Pwede?
Anong gagawin mo para pataasin ng East West Bank stock?
Magtatrabaho ko ng marangal.
Hey guys, I'm excited to talk. I'm here at the city government of Mandaluyong where we will talk about the basics of the stock market. So update! The last time I saw you bought Ayala Land. Bumagsak ulit. What did you do?
I bought again.
Any remorse that you bought?
Of course not. Of course not.
Bakit? The market is still down and bearish. What's your comment on that?
Well, I'm here for the long term, not short haul, so nothing to worry about. Because Marvin also invested, that's why I'm confident.
What if Ayala Land goes down to 30 pesos? What will you do?
I will still keep it and wait, because this is an endurance game.
City Hall. Bodge, the market is down. What are you doing with your investments?
Buy.
Paano kayo yumaman?
Sinundan lang kita.
Alam mo yan din sinabi ko kanina.
Yeah.
How did you create your wealth, Bodge?
Well, siguro, I got married very young. I wasn't able to really save a lot during that time, and I was able to see the value of money because during the time when I got married young, I depended on my parents. So I was thinking it's about time that I need to build wealth so that could repay back my parents as well. So of course, I rose from the rank. One siguro that I really find ways to be able to make the difference in my work. I started from being a teller, new accounts. And after years, the Lord has been good for giving me a high position in a multinational bank, and that allowed me to be able to see from there. And another thing that one factor that I was able to save is we had a property in Capitolio. And it was the first property we bought. I got it for 4 million. I was able to sell it more than double the price in a span of 5 years. The surplus money I was able to get that. Those are the money that I started to invest.
Your movement of cash came from property investing.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you recommend property investing to people? Do you think it's something good?
Well, until now, actually, there's a huge demand still for property market because the population is not getting any slower; it's getting faster. So more houses are needed. I think it's more on the townhouses, house and lots. I think it's more on that aspect rather than the condominiums.
Pero how is that for people who are starting out? Do you advise they go direct to real estate kagad, or is there a better route muna that they should actually take before they go into property investing? Kasi property investing, like you said, 4 million pesos to start with. Not everyone has 4 million pesos. Siyempre, for some people like Jason Lo, para 4 million is just like a week for him.
Kahit bukas pwede na rin,
naman. So,
pati sa'yo.
sa akin,
40 million.
Well, siguro what I could recommend is it really depends on where they're going to buy the property. If it's something that they're going to live for the longest time that they're going to stay, I advise you could do both actually. You could look for a property, the location is strategically placed. You know that there's growth in the property area. If not, of course, you have the option to rent it out. Whatever the surplus money do you have, you invest it in stocks.
The best investment out there.
You gotta ask Marvin. Marvin's the best in the field.
Di naman.
Oo, marami na naging bilyonaryo kay Marvin. Yeah. So That's what I suggest. You try to. It really depends on your objective, and of course the opportunity that presents. I always believe that you need to prepare. There's no such thing as luck. The true definition of luck is when preparation makes opportunity. So you have to be prepared. So in terms of having surplus money, so that when the opportunity comes, whether real estate, starting up a business, something that you're passionate about, I think you have more flexibility in doing it.
What's the biggest financial mistake in your life?
Okay. I think that was the time I invested to SSI.
Okay, stocks mismo.
Yeah,
Oh, you bought
yeah.
SSI, okay, tapos?
Yeah, but during that time when I bought it, of course, it was climbing, so I bought more. And unfortunately, I wasn't checking the stock price for the longest time. And I was shocked to see that it really went down, plummeted very low.
Okay, did you sell already or are you still holding on to the stock right now?
I sold it already.
Okay, buti na lang. You know why? SSI is below 2 pesos already.
Wow! Wow!
Oh.
Wow.
So, Butch, buying SSI, what was the learning that you got from it?
Well, in any investment actually, especially in the stock market, even though you know that the value is increasing, I think it's very important that you constantly review the direction of the company and whatever's happening inside and outside as well, outside factors as well. And unfortunately, SSI was losing a lot of money with Family Mart during that time, but I didn't took the time to really look at it, so it hit me hard. And until now, it's really down, right?
So key learning for everyone, no, in everything that you do, regardless if it's a stock market or mutual funds, you should know what you're getting into. But above and beyond that, there's a follow through that you bought it. You have to be responsible also to watch it as well, especially when you get caught when something would change in the company, like what happened to SSI, that yung fundamentals na they were not making as much money. Some stores were losing money as well, so that was triggering and contributing yung downward movement of the stock. Sige, we'll close it with this naman. Why do you want people naman, in spite of parang the losses also and some mistakes, why do you want people to invest still? What's the narrative on why Filipinos should invest? From a banker, by the way guys, one of the top bankers in East West Bank. This is Bodge, this is
With
Bodge.
the top market.
No. But why do you want Filipinos to invest?
Well, I think when you talk about returns, one of the biggest outlets for any investment outlet will still be the stock market, unless you want to put it in business. If you want to increase around more than 20%, of course, the stock market will be a good avenue. But of course, you have to be responsible every time you invest. Make sure that you invest based on the value of the company, and you have to constantly review the status of the company. Is very important against the competitor, against the potential for it to grow locally, globally. There's a lot of factors that you have to face in, especially if you're putting a lot of money. But if you're putting it in separate amounts in different, you could also do a strategy in a sense that you invest in different industries. That's also a good outlet. One thing before that I was doing, okay, if it's a long term, usually what I do, I try to check, to shortcut the study, I try to check the blue chips in which most of the UITFs are invested. I try to study it, and most likely those allocations, of course they spend a lot of money in studying it, so if it's going to be on a long term, it's something that I put in those certain blue chips, because I know the company itself put a lot of money to study it.
Because
Sure.
the fact that nasa fund sila, it means that mas malaki yung chance that they are good companies kasi funds na nagmamanage ng pera ng ibang tao are placing it there. So parang there's a level of trust na hindi naman sila, they won't buy companies that are not so good.
Exactly. But of course, you still need the expertise of
No.
manager.
What if may gusto kang bilhin tapos ayaw bilhin ng wife mo? What will you do?
So, lalamin ko yung asawa ko.
Lalamig.
Or, bibilin ko muna yung gusto niya bago ko bilhin niya sa gusto ko.
So
Win-win. It's a win-win.
Technique for husbands and wife is to buy yung gusto ng wife bago yung sa sarili.
Tried and tested.
Okay, question ko. Bakit mahirap mag-ipon?
Kasi maraming temptation dito sa mundo. So, marami ding luho, ganun. Kaya ang hirap mag-ipon.
How long have you been working already?
Almost 2 years.
2 years. Mula na nag-work ka, na-save ka na?
Yes, I have.
Okay. Paano ka nakasave? Paano mahirap mag-save?
Proper na pag-save ng pera lang talaga. Proper manage lang ng pera.
Hello! Make sure to subscribe to Tito Marvin, but he's the best YouTuber. And also make sure to subscribe to my channel, Keith Santos Rocks.
Guys, so I'm back in BGC. We're now in for the closing of this vlog. Let me give you an update on the market, the PSEI, and some select stocks that I've noticed you've requested, and let's try to break it down. Alright, so a couple of things. Number one, the market finally moved up with a relatively large conviction. When I say relatively large conviction, it's something that it hasn't done over the past few days. No, it's up to 0.41%, 169 points up from where it was yesterday. Here's the thing. Yesterday was an indecision candle from a day-to-day perspective. For those who attended our charting methodologies, now you know after the indecision, you wait for the next day on what the market will decide on. And today, the market decided it was bullish. However, please remember this. I think the movement today can generally be noted because everything's oversold already. A lot of the stocks that have gone down, even the PSEI as well, is relatively oversold. And you know this, if a stock is oversold, if a market is oversold, there will be a knee-jerk reaction because a lot of people will be bottom picking. A lot of people will think it's cheap and they start coming in. However, it does not also reiterate that the trend, which is still headed down, is broken. We are still in a downtrend, my friends. We are still bearish over the short, mid, and long term. What it shows us, though, is this. The closer we are to 6.8, the closer we are to 6.9, there's a relatively stronger sense of buying already. So, is that buying enough to be able to destroy the trend, meaning destroy the downtrend? No evidence yet. Is that trend strong enough? Is that buying strong enough also to make it break out? We still have to wait for it. But there's one sign that I saw. It's above 7140, which for those who have been following the previous vlogs, I mentioned that as long as it stays above 7140, it has a chance to zoom back up. Now, at the close at 7176, one thing that you need to watch out for is the 7200 resistance now. It's now relatively the next resistance to watch out for. If it stays above 7140, next possible resistance that the market will go to 7200. Now, if it breaks out of 7200, then it has a shot at 7500. But let's take everything one by one, step by step. So a good sign is we did not hit 68. We bounced as we close to, as the market hit close to 6,800. Second is it stayed above 7140. Next thing to watch out for, it must break out of 7,200 and it must stay above that level. I think what contributed to it as well, no, in terms of its movement, is Ayala Land suddenly saw a movement up 770 million in value turnover of 2.73%, and a lot of the stocks that have been sold down over the past few days have started to kick up because of it being oversold. Dell is up, JG Summit is up 5.24%, DPI is up 4.65%, SM is up 4.54%, MPI is up 3.11%, even your second liners, which now today, you know, was amazing. It had a large movement up. So for those who are following the narrative of now, as long as it stays above 8.7, I think the upward movement will still progress. The upward consolidation movement will still progress, and make sure you watch out for the resistance levels there at around 12 pesos per share for the stock. So you have your second liners moving up. Vita is up with 80 million value turnover as well. So that's how you segment your trades. For those who want to make money off of this market, it has to be very, very specific. You have to be selective. Stocks with high volume and high volatility are the ones that will give you money when you're trading, when you want to make money off of it. But those who are picking oversold stocks, you did a good job selecting stocks that are oversold based on price and momentum oscillators, but above and beyond that, stocks that have hit support levels. So make sure to set your target prices because the stock the market as a whole is still bearish, meaning you must sell as it hits the resistance and take profits off of that. Another thing that I'd like to mention, I'm a big fan of volume. I'm a big fan of value turnover. I'm a big fan that the larger the value turnover, the stronger, the bigger the stock is. Why am I saying this? The market may be up today, but value turnover is just 5.96 billion, around 6 billion. So it's not as strong, it's not as reliable, it's not as it doesn't show as much conviction as a market hitting 8 to 10 billion that's going up and breaking out. So we want more evidence. We want a larger amount of buying still to happen for this to be really a substantial reversal as well. And I mentioned also that it's oversold. That's the only reason why the market's up. A lot of price and momentum oscillators are still not showing us a change in direction. So why am I saying this? Let's monitor the market. Let's see where it goes over the next few days. But one thing to watch out for is 7-2. We need to break out of 7-2. Not just break out of 7-2. We need to hold and stay above that level as well. So it's interesting, no? For those who are new to the markets, for those who are experiencing this downward movement for the first time, please remember this happens, and it's amazing because as long as you are putting an amount that's sobra, it's an amount that it's not something that you use on a day-to-day basis. You shouldn't be scared, but you should base everything on logic. You should base everything on your technique, on technicals and fundamental analysis. So that's it. I'll be in Qatar next week. Then a few weeks after that, Hong Kong. Then a few weeks after that, Iloilo. So it's nice, no? I just love sharing. I love talking about the markets, and I hope this gives you a shroud of confidence also that you can trade the markets, you can win in the markets, that investing and winning in the markets can be done by every Filipino out there as well. So that's it for now. I hope this video helps you trade well, trade strong, trade smart. Marvin Germo from BGC. God bless you all and have a great night ahead. Pera, love life.
Pera.
Talaga? Pera bigas. Ay, love life bigas.
Pera.
Talaga?
Pag may pera,
May bigas.
May bigas.
Love life bigas.
Bigas.
Okay, salamat. That's it.